In this video, I will be demonstrating the bulk search capability within the TermHub browser. Terminologists typically get lists of terms like this. In this case, this is a list of procedures, and they need to find some way of associating that with a standard terminology like SNOMED CT. In a lot of cases, that means I got to copy and paste each one of these terms into a browser and try to find the appropriate term for that the appropriate concept for that term. A much easier way to do that with TermHub is to use the bulk search capability. So let me go ahead and copy that list, and I'm going to log into TermHub. I'm going to use the SNOMED CT US latest project. And when I go into that project, I see bulk search button here. I'm going to go ahead and click that. Now, if I did want to do a bulk search over multiple terminologies, I can do that within TermHub. I would need to set up a project with all the different terminologies I need to bulk search over, and those would show up here as buttons. In this case, we just have SNOMED CT US, so we're going to just search over that one. So here we have our list of terms. I'm going to go ahead and hit the search button here, and that gives me back a list of results. And with the exception of this final one here, we did find concepts for all of them. This last one here, TTE, doesn't exist anywhere in SNOMED, so it has a no match. This is something I would need to go and research and find an appropriate concept that this term would attach to, and maybe find out a little bit more about TTE and what that stands for in most cases, and try to find the best SNOMED concept. But for a majority of the terms that we searched over, we did find at least one concept that it is associated with. Now, I searched over all of SNOMED. That includes lots of things: procedures, disorders, specimens. In this case, for chest tube insertion, it actually found a specimen concept, swab of chest tube insertion site. And that's not really what I'm looking for, since I know this is a list of procedures. So I can refine that here using either an ECL expression from SNOMED, or I can use the semantic type. So let me scroll down and choose procedure. And it will search again for me, and it will only choose procedure concepts. So now chest tube insertion is mapping to insertion of pleural tube drain, which is a synonym for chest tube insertion. So that's a much better result. So it does change your results when you do refine your searches here, using either an expression or a semantic type. I do have a few other options. I can do active only. That means, and that's done by default, because most likely you're going to want to search for active concepts. You're not going to want to search for inactive, but you can turn that off and get inactive concepts in your list as well. Another option is leaf only. So let's go ahead and choose that and search again. And as we can see here, we have a no match for PRBC. So leaf only is only going to search for the very bottom of the tree for concepts. So the most specific concepts that exist within SNOMED. And there are no really specific concepts in SNOMED that have a term of PRBC in them. So that's why that becomes a no match. And we see here that a lot of these, like chest tube insertion, now has changed to opening of chest and insertion of pleural tube drain, which is a much more specific concept than insertion of pleural tube drain. So in a lot of cases, you're probably not going to want to choose that. So let's go ahead and redo the search using our previous search criteria, and show one last feature, which is the ability to return multiple results. So I can choose up to 10 results per term, but let's go ahead and choose 3 in this case. Now we see a lot of the terms now have 3 results for them, and that allows me to get a lot of different results that I can then review and maybe find a better option than the one that the bulk search is choosing as the highest result. But we can also see things like PRBC only has 1 result still. So even though we're setting it as 3, it's only returning 1, which means that is probably the best that the bulk search can do, and is probably a high likelihood that this is what we're actually looking for. After I've reviewed and refined my search to be what I want it to be, and I'm pretty sure it's returning good results, I can then export those results into an Excel spreadsheet using this icon, download search data. So clicking on that, I then get an Excel spreadsheet that I can then go through and review the results, delete anything that I don't want, and I'm left with a spreadsheet that has the term and the code that I want to associate with that term. So I have the ability to export this into a spreadsheet and then work off of it from there. Again, bulk search is a really powerful feature within TermHub that'll allow you to take a list of terms, find concepts that you can then review outside of the tool rather than going one by one and using the browser to search for them, which is still an option. This is just a much faster option if you choose to use that.